We've been working with Fujibi for over a year now. They've been supporting or sponsoring this show, particularly entire last year, almost from the very beginning. But in addition to this, we've used their product at the Academy, and I personally have been using it for a number of years now for myself. In addition to all this, they just released, Gary?
They've got a ton of new stuff, but this one is the Last Samurai gi that I'm looking at fujisports.com. They've also got the brand new gamer gi, a ton of great stuff. Check them out, fujisports.com, bags, mitts, spats, rash guard, anything you need for your jiu-jitsu journey, you can find it at fujisports.com.
If you're a long-time listener already, you already know what Roll TV is. However, if you're a first-time listener, you might actually find this very interesting. Roll TV, online video online platform that we actually put together, available at rollacademy.tv for all that are interested and want to take their jiu-jitsu to the next level.
Yeah, I definitely love it. From lesson plans, fully customizable. Most, if not all, the seminars we've done here at the Academy are there too, from high class practitioners. So definitely check it out. And there's a little coupon code too.
Oh, absolutely. If you want to get extra 30% off on the memberships, make sure you type in Roll Radio as the coupon and you get savings.
Who doesn't like saving money?
Welcome to Raw Radio.
Say it.
I choked.
You choked. You did. You did.
We are live.
We're live.
We are live.
Yeah. First takeaway of the year.
First of all, it's been proven today that hot dogs should have ketchup on them.
Bullshit. Sorry to swear. Explicit material.
Listen to the episode with Erin if you want to hear exactly what we are talking about.
Yeah, I don't know if she knows where we're from or whatever. She's out there. She grew up in California. They're in her own words, weirdos. But she wasn't referring to Californians. But
we just lost
you do
all
not.
West Coast listeners.
No, I'm gonna. Well, so what? Their pizza sucks too.
Wow. Wow.
But
it's a shootout today.
You know what? I'll tie it in. If you want to put ketchup on your hot dog, and that's who you really are, and you're not just doing it because people tell you mustard only. Well, not mustard only, but anything that's coming out of a squeeze bottle should be mustard on your hot dog. You be that authentic person. If that's who you truly are. If that's congruent with your values, with your desires, who you really want to be. I'm reading that, of course, and despite external pressures to social conformity, you go ahead and put ketchup on that hot dog. I'm fine with it. I wouldn't do it.
Wow, this was deep.
It was. I wouldn't embarrass myself like that, but you can. You can be a child and put ketchup on your hot dog.
Wow. This show is going places.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you probably don't eat, if you do, you probably don't eat the crust on your pizza. What other things, right? Your mom had to cut the crusts off your sandwiches when you were a kid. That's okay. Be authentic to who you are. Should we start this over? Sorry, I'm on cold medicine.
What?
Got carried away there a little bit. So it's a hot topic.
A little bit?
A little bit. It's a hot topic around the house. I got a 9-year-old daughter. Ketchup goes on hot dogs. Well,
I love ketchup on the hot dogs.
Oh, and you're Eastern European, like, you should have mustard on your sausage, whether it's a hot dog or any other kind of sausage. You should go with the mustard. They don't put ketchup on. Do they put ketchup on sausages
let's take a vote.
Poland?
Let's take a vote. We're
in the Midwest.
Ketchup or mustard? I don't care. Let's take a vote.
Yeah, and the vote's going to be mustard because we're in the Midwest. And our listeners are probably over 12.
Let's take a vote and listen. If majority is mustard only, we'll talk about it.
I know what the majority is when it comes to that topic.
I'll post it. We'll post it on social media.
2 minutes into this, are we? Already?
Too many.
Yes, too many.
All right, let's be authentic.
Yes. So what does that mean, really? This is after an interview with Erin Herle, and she talked about being authentic quite a bit and what that means, and when she became her authentic self.
What does authentic mean to you?
I think it just means being honest with if you're talking about yourself, it means being honest about who you are and what you believe, and not putting up any pretense or any phoniness based on what you think others.
What do you mean by
hear.
that? What do you mean by that?
I'm in a group of dudes on the mat, and they're all talking about
pink bunnies.
Pink bunnies. I don't like pink bunnies. I like brown bunnies, and I'm going to tell them I like brown bunnies. I'm not going to say I like pink bunnies too, because that's what they like. Or I don't like, but
what about?
I mean, I think it's really hard nowadays to be authentic because we are so, and I think social media has a lot to do with it, and we're so connected yet disconnected. I think it's hard to be your authentic self in a lot of times, in a lot of ways. I think there's a lot of pressures on people that think a certain way, or to behave a certain way, or to wear the certain clothing. I'm a little older now, so I don't care about that type of stuff as much. But I could only imagine what it's like to be 25 years old right now, 35 even, where everything is based on
outside perception.
Yeah, absolutely. And your pictures on social media, and your clique, and what everybody else is doing. I think there's a lot of pressure to conform even. And in that conformity, you probably lose a lot of your authenticity. And people, and not even like,
what do you mean pressure to conform?
To conform, to be like everybody else, and not to be. And I'm even going to say, like,
but isn't
to
social
not be
media
normal?
Isn't the social media as a tool for us to be unique?
You can be unique and still be completely unauthentic. Because you think that's what people want to see.
No, but
people want to see you. You think people want to see you act a certain way. You think people want you to look a certain way. So you give them that, even though that's not really who you are. You're only doing those things for likes or followers, or, which in turn builds up your monetary gain, possibly, depending on what you're using your platform for. So yeah, I think that, you can conform and not be authentic, and you can be outside of that bubble and be not authentic as well. I think it's what you could be either.
But isn't that what this society really always been about? I mean, housing suburbs with white picket fence, with this car and that car, and having a green yard, and having these flowers, and having this, that, going on vacation, and doing what the Joe Schmo next door is doing. I mean, always catching, catching up with what somebody else is doing. I mean,
keeping up with the Joneses.
Right, exactly. I was looking for that statement. You was kind of slow on that. But isn't that what this society really always been about?
Yeah. And is that, but you could really want to be that. That could be who you are. But at the same token, you can live in the suburbs, and you can have that house, that car, take those vacations, but you could always wear shorts and flip-flops in any time of year. And you show up to people's parties like that, and they're like, dude, it's December. And you're like, I don't care. I went from my garage to your garage and came in your house. I don't need, it's like, or just, anything. It could be anything. Be true to who you are, and how you feel, and what you listen to, and what you like. It's easier. I think it's hard to do and to be consistent with it. But once you do, I think you're probably a happier person.
But wouldn't that create a lot of judgment from other people?
Yeah, that's the hard part to get over, right? What are they thinking about me?
Mm-hmm.
At some point, you got to not care anymore.
But that's the hard part. This is what Erin was talking about, right?
Yes.
Especially for individuals with, mental conditions, anxiety and so on. Some of these situations or some of these obstacles that they deal with, it's sometimes impossible to ignore what others think, what is happening. That's the hard part.
Yeah, and I think if you have something that's diagnosable, that's real in that way, you probably need to seek professional help, right? I'm talking more about, the average guy on the street, average man or woman, being authentic to who they really are. How many people are in unhappy marriages because they're not allowed to be who they really want to be, because the other person is like, no, you need to dress a certain way, or you can't act like that around my friends or my family, right? You can't. And I'm not talking about like having the freedom to be a jerk. I'm talking about, no, just having a different opinion, a different style, a different way of looking at situations than the people around you.
Do you think the way how we communicate today, meaning a lot of us digital, text, social media, and so on, is a big factor behind all of this? It is so easy to ghost somebody versus, like, I remember 20 years ago, neighbors arguing back and forth and having some of these arguments face to face, which often a lot of them were solvable in that moment.
Yeah.
Today, I feel like these arguments or these disputes, not arguments, disputes, are much more difficult to solve simply because you can just disconnect at your choice.
Yeah, well, or you could keep going.
Or you can keep going.
Right? And you can escalate and escalate and escalate, because you're never going to have that confrontation. And it doesn't have to be a physical confrontation. It's just a dialogue. You're talking back and forth. I think, absolutely. I think that social media, like any other tool, when you use it wrong for what it wasn't intended. Well, I don't know. I'm not gonna say what it was intended for, but I think when you use it in a wrong way, it can be very detrimental. I don't think that I think it's easier to ghost somebody 20 years ago, 30 years ago, because you don't answer the phone, or you just, dude, I don't want to talk about it. You walk away. Where now it's like, you got to unfriend them, or you unfollow, then you unfriend, right? And then at some point you're like, they're still finding me somehow, or I see, you got to block them. It's just, I think it's harder nowadays. And then none of that stuff gets resolved either. The thing that puts you on that path, right? I think we're getting a little off topic about, being authentic, but, I think things were probably a lot simpler 30 years ago.
So how do we bridge this back to jiu-jitsu? What would you define being authentic in on the mat?
You gotta be honest with yourself about who you are. You gotta be, everything that you carry, everybody, she talked about it a little bit. It's easy to say, leave your ego at the door, leave your problems at the door. But a lot of times, or the stressors, you bring them on the mat with you. So you got to deal with them honestly. Why do you train the way you do? Why do you execute the things you do on the mat? Not even, and I'm not talking about like, I show up late or whenever I want. I'm talking about, why do you play bottom all the time? Why are you playing half guard all the time? Why do you choose the game you want to play, right? Is that authentic to who you are, or is it who you want to be? Do you want to be that dominant person that's always smashing other people?
Yes.
Or do you want to be that person that, we've seen them that hold that choke for just a split second longer after you tap? There's that guy, or the guy that likes to crank no matter what. Is that who you really are, or is that how you want to be perceived? Look around, man. Everybody, all these dudes are ripped with the same beard and the shaved head, and they got the same tattoos, and they all wear that same shirt. There's this whole club of people that look exactly the same. They act exactly the same in this community. Sorry, but it's true. And then you have these unique individuals who get called out when they don't act the same as all these other people, when they have a different opinion, when they train differently, when their hair is different, when they, have a different opinion about COVID. And all of a sudden there's this huge, the comments are there's 300 comments, right? Because he has a different opinion than the person that was in the feed right above him, and I just think it's, I don't even know where we started with this. Oh, bringing it onto the mats. I'm bringing it more into the community aspect of it. You know, but be honest with yourself. Are you saying these things because, you know, this legend says it too, and that's why you're thinking that way? Are you saying the opposite just to rile people up? You know, just find out what you really believe and stick with that. You'll be better off.
There you go. He said it. If you're still listening,
Thanks.
we'll be back next week.
I got something authentic for you. You can't see it behind my computer screen. Yeah, so
it was
she's awesome.
It was a phenomenal conversation with Erin. Take a listen on many levels, from some of the struggles that she has encountered in her life to being authentic. That was a true, honest view that she provides on that perspective, on that topic. Take a listen. Worth 60 minutes or so of your life.
Yeah, do it. All right, on to the next one.
On to the next one.
Peace.
Later.
Thank you for listening to Raw Radio. If you enjoyed the show, don't forget to leave us a review and help us make the show even more amazing. For future episodes, check out our website and follow us on all major podcast platforms. Take care.